episode 15. This week on Rebel Rebel, I have the pleasure of having Ryan Hnetka in the studio to talk about his golf addiction, his company, The App Guys, traveling the world, and what he learned from the movie Days of Thunder. He also dropped some knowledge on his favorite food delivery service, how to get the best vacation ever in Bali, and some wise words for other rebels to help get you lit. Season 1, Episode 15. Got an app for that? On Rebel Rebel. Well, we're here in Kensington studio. I'm Michael Dean Dargam, sitting down here with Ryan Hnetka of the App Guys and Safety App. How's it going, man?
It's going awesome.
Yeah.
Like, not just because it's a beautiful day and the weather out there, but, you know, I just got back from pretty much about 3 weeks of not quite holidays. My life is a workation, I call it.
Awesome.
You know, I work when I have to, need to. Yeah. My team, that's like, we're spread around the world. They do such a good job of taking care of things for me.
Awesome.
That when things like the weather's like this today, I'm like, I can go golfing, I can go this, and it's fantastic.
I saw some pictures on social media of you golfing and out in the mountains, which is...
Yeah, so I went out on Wednesday. I had my best buddy in the world, you know, as well as App Guy, as part of my past history as a police officer, 12 years with Regina Police Service, doing 911, answering for a few years, and then regular officer on the street. And past partner of mine, best friend, him and his wife and child, Hudson, super cute little guy, all came out. He's 3 years old, and he's on Silvertip golf links, and he's swinging like the last 100 yards of the holes and getting in. Of course, you know, 10 shots or 15 shots, he gets 2 on every hole. It's fantastic. Amazing. Yeah, he beats us on every hole. But yeah, we played Silvertip, and then I went and played Stewart Creek, and then had a tournament yesterday, raising money for mental health awareness that Max Green did with their Max Community Initiatives. Yeah. Played at Springbank Links yesterday, so 3 rounds in 30-some hours or so. So I'm starting to get to that age. It was like, yeah, time to ice the elbow, the shoulder, you know, just...
Now, do you have fancy pants? Do you have like the big plaid pants?
Some of the loudmouth pants. Yeah, I got a couple pairs of those. I haven't worn them in a while, but yeah, I do have. I have shorts as well. It's awesome. And actually, it's funny you brought that up. Tyrell, Ty, my best buddy, and another fellow, Derek from Regina. We all went out to Bear Mountain Golf Resort in Victoria, 2010, I think it was. And we chose a loudmouth day. This is a beautiful 36-hole Jack Nicklaus resort. Everybody there usually is kind of like, you know, we got money, we look good, we are all fashionable. And the 3 of us walk in on loudmouth day for ourselves, and we're dressed like clowns. And we're in the pro shop checking in. And I'm in mindset, like I golf. I played Alberta Golf Tour a few years ago here. Yeah. Like, I am a golfer, but I also I'll golf with anyone, skill level, doesn't matter, just have fun. Yeah. We check in, and I'm like, let's go out to the carts. And these guys, like Derek and Ty, are talking to this guy. He's like, I love that you guys had the balls to come out and wear this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I go out to my golf cart, wait. And they finally come out. And then I think it was a second hole or something. They're like, why didn't you want to talk to him? Like, do you not like him or something? I'm like, who is this? Some guy. He's like, Kelly Hrudey. I'm like, I don't know. Because a lot of hockey guys are all out there and everything, and they're like, yeah, it was Kelly Hrudey. And I was like, I don't follow hockey at all. I'm like, not a clue. It could have been Wayne Gretzky. Well, okay, Wayne Gretzky, I'd know.
You probably would.
But yeah.
I met Kelly in an airport once. It was the strangest thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I would walk right by him, not have a clue. If he wanted to talk to me, I'd just be like, I'm busy. Sorry. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Sorry, off track. But loud pants and golf
that's what this is all about.
Exactly.
No, because that's what this podcast is for. It's all about finding out what makes you you. And I mean, you're a rebel. Come on, you're a cop. What? Yeah. Now you do apps. You've got this cool safety app thing going. You're a golfer. You're like a pro golfer, semi-pro?
No, amateur tour.
Amateur tour?
Yeah, I would like to think I'm a pro, but the pros don't think that. So
well, that's fair.
I don't know. Yeah, poser, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It is my, like, you start golfing, and for the next 4 to 4.5 hours, doesn't matter what else is going on in the world, you just have golf to deal with. Like, I turn the phone off most of the time. That is my mental break from everything else. And typically, all the travel I do around the world, so a lot of places golf isn't as popular as it is around here. golf courses are where the best landscapes are, the best, like it's always beautiful scenery and this and that. So I'm like, it's fantastic. Like people are like, I want to plan a trip here. I look at where the golf courses are that I want to play. Then that's how the trip gets planned.
It's awesome. Yeah. We were just in Manila, and we went up north of Manila into the Clark Freeport zone. And they've got this, and I forget what it's called. We took pictures up there, but it's a golf resort, and oh my God, it's beautiful. Yeah, like unbelievable. Yeah, and it's all funded by Koreans.
Perfect.
So it's bought and owned by Korea or whatever.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of the Asian golfers that have come onto the scene in the last 10 years or so, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's such an elite sport when like you get over there, because it's I went, well, even Curitiba in Brazil, I went there 5 years ago, 17 days, city of like multi-million, 10 20 million something down there, 6 golf courses and all private. And it's like, unless you know somebody who knows somebody who's like makes $45 million a year for some reason, you can't get into these things. So that was the one country that I've been to that I haven't golfed. Every other country I've been to, I've golfed somewhere at some point. I will golf in Brazil at some point. I just didn't get to that trip, so I was a little disappointed.
So your work takes you around the world? Is that what I'm hearing?
Work takes me around the world because I want it to.
Nice.
With today with Skype and video conferencing, all those sort of things, it doesn't have to take you around so much. It's not the day of the sales guy hopping on the plane and 14 cities in 14 days or anything. But at the same time, like my whole team for App Guys, there's about 35 of us that are working pretty much full time over the last 5 years or so. And the team is very elastic. We can grow and expand as needed. So I like to make sure that it's not just a digital relationship I have with the team. We all remote work, similar to the Automatic setup. Automatic's the company that created WordPress. It's a completely remote digital workforce of thousands of people around the world. They get together, once or twice a year. The different teams will get together, I think every 6 months. And like the whole company will have like a retreat every year if you can make it. From what I understand with them. We're not at Automatic level yet. I want to be one day, of course. But, I'll go to Bali for 2 months, rent a villa, and, there'll be 13 of us. And, some of the guys from India or Austria, Macedonia, whatever, all come, we'll work together and then split off. And, now if the next year it's all Skype videos and emails, you still have that connection. That's awesome. Everyone I work with, I've sat down and had a meal with in person at some point somewhere. And we did Tunisia, North Africa, 4 years ago, little island of Jerba, just off the coast of Tunisia there.
Cool
and
that?
7 weeks and absolutely beautiful. And something I found out when I was there, we did a tour onto the mainland, did some camel rides and some camping overnight in the desert and everything, just beautiful. And then we got taken to a Star Wars set. I had no idea Star Wars was part of it was shot in Tunisia. So it was the very first Star Wars. I always get this mixed up because I like science fiction and Star Wars, but I always get this mixed up. I think it was like Star Wars 4. So at the very start, where Luke goes into the hole where the home is, and they're having lunch, and it's all painted. So we went into that. It was absolutely like it's a hotel. Like you can rent rooms in it. We had lunch there. And then we got taken to, I don't know which episode it was or if it was the same one, but where there was a big bar scene in a few different buildings, just out in the middle of the desert. You had to take like a Jeep ride for about 45 minutes through the dunes, which that was no fun at all, of course. Just flying over it. You had no idea, is this gonna be a 10-foot drop or 100-foot? But the driver knows, and you're just like holding on for dear life. So
I lose my shit.
But it was absolutely fantastic. Some cool stuff over there that I had no idea about till you go and work and experience. And I got my laptop in my bag. There's high-speed internet that's fairly reliable or a good cell network. I don't care where I am in the world. I can get the work done that I need to get done.
That's really cool. Well, so, I mean, you're the guy if I said, oh, man, I need an app for that. Like, you're that guy.
We are that guy.
Okay. That's cool.
I say we are that guy. We are those guys. I'm usually the initial point of contact and try and figure out with you, like, do you actually need an app for that, or is it just an idea?
Oh, okay.
Because we don't want you investing a ton of money into something and nobody uses it.
Well, I know this is kind of like how long is a piece of string question, but what do apps typically cost?
Well, that's a good, I get that all the time.
Of course you do.
What I usually come back with is pretend I'm a car dealership. I'm the car salesman. You walked onto the car lot. We have everything from the used Chevette from 1982 to the brand new LaFerrari.
Gotcha.
You just asked me how much a car costs.
Gotcha.
You know, I need to know so much.
Right.
If you really need, like, hey, I just want an average this, average that, you know, but you want everything custom. You don't want to use any open source code bases or some plugins that, you know, are good if you need to keep budget low, but could cause problems in the future for you.
Right.
You're usually looking at an average of about $10,000 to $12,000 per month for a full-time team to work on it.
Oh, wow.
And most apps will take at least a few months to build that MVP, that minimum viable product.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, so we get that, you know, and that's project manager, graphic designer, database architect, front-end web developer, back-end web developer that's dealing with APIs, an iOS native developer, an Android native developer, you know, so there's, you know, that's a full team working on something, then you can get up there. And if some projects will take 6-8 months to do like a full proper workup, they can go up there in price and can easily, you know, 5x, 10x from that, depending on, we need like super safety, security, and so on. Obviously, with some of my past experience with Regina Police Service, being an officer there, a lot of times when associations like Regina Police Association, Saskatoon Police Association, SAS Federation of Police Officers, when they needed websites or apps created to fill a specific need that all had to do with, you know, access to information that had to be very secure.
Right.
You know, we were the company. I was the guy that they talked to, and then we were the company that did all that type of work.
Awesome.
We've done a lot of secure communication apps between like integrated units, you know, for drug runners or property crimes units, you know, detective apps for detectives that, you know, don't have the patrol car, that they go to a specific location, they hit a button that they've arrived, they can search things. These detectives, you know, are plainclothes. They show up in a plainclothes car. They want to be able to know, like, hey, is this house I'm walking into doing this type of investigation? Maybe the house next door is one of the main targets for drugs and guns. So they see some, you never know what might be the house next door. So we want to make sure that they have, you know, geo-targeting and geolocation alerts to say, hey, keep your heads up in this area, you know, or something you might not realize. Where a patrol car pulls up, and when they're in areas, they get warnings that are anything on the system of what might be going on in the area.
Wow, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I had no idea that it's come that far already.
Oh yeah, it's amazing the systems that are in these cars and everything. And you know, as an officer, when I went to a place, you're always making notes of who's there, what's going on. You know, you're doing your reports for court and everything like that. But all that also gets saved so that I might work a 12-hour shift, and then the night shift goes for a completely different type of call to that same house, or even to the house across the street. But when you pull up and park in front of that house, if I'm dealing with a house 3 houses down from here, most officers know, don't pull up and park in front of the house that you're going to. Park a few houses away. Well, now a few houses away, that might be a house that the day shift dealt with for a gun call or something. You park your car there, getting out, expecting to walk 3 houses down, and the guy, some other guy that didn't get arrested, opens his door and starts wanting to fire at you because he's like, oh, they're back for me now. I'm just going to go out in a blaze of glory. But you were just going down the street to talk to someone about something else. So you want to make sure, you know, when officers show up in areas, that they've got all the information that they can as possible.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, and then the plainclothes officers, guys and girls, they don't have those systems. So we want to make sure that their mobile devices are really tied into it. So it's beeping and vibrating if they need to have their heads up.
Yeah. Neat. Holy Christmas.
Yeah.
So this could be a great segue into your safety app.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, not just a passion project, but
it's I don't even think there's words like passion and hobby, like everything matches this project. So I resigned from policing September 5th 2013. And for the last couple of years I was there, I worked with a retired police officer as well as a media guy in Regina to create an app we called Shield. And we had a company, and we built Shield. It all had to do with the safety alerting technologies. Moose Jaw Police Service was using our technology, a few other emergency operations centers. And we got some investment into it to help us build that initial version. Everybody loved the idea. Every organization, you know, we're really targeting police because I was police at the time. Everybody loved it. Hard to get government and police agencies to pay for things. Not hard to get, but there's an 18 to 24 month sales cycle.
Right. Oh my.
Yeah. So I learned a lot. Like I've, you know, ran my bit like app guys. was something I launched here in Calgary in 2014. And it was more of a rename and rebrand of my company in Regina called Regina Websites.
Gotcha.
So over all the years, I started doing websites in 96. All those years, when I was in policing, 5 days on, 5 days off, still had all the tech stuff going. So I started building this shield with these guys, and we launched it, and everybody loved it. And then our investor wanted to put in more money. As that investor put in more money, it started hinging on, I have to resign from policing because I'm putting in, a ton of money. You got to be CEO of the company, and we want to move it to Calgary because we can tie into Husky, Shell, and Sonova. We were talking to all them about tying into their global alerting systems. So there's a lot, the oil and gas money. Yeah. Easy to sign a check and get it. Right. Not easy. Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's not a 24-month sales cycle a lot of times. Yeah. So I was like, okay, we got to stop focusing on policing. And my chief had also sat me down in Regina. Like, I'm getting to a conflict of interest position because I'd be going to work, and then the mayor would be wanting a meeting to talk about how the city of Regina could use my technology. So great. A lot of the upper ups at Regina Police, they love the fact that one of their officers helped develop this. People are loving it. It's going to grow. On the other fact, it's like, I'm going to work, and we all work for the mayor, work for the city. So if the mayor tells you to go, you go. Yeah. But there's other things I should be doing out there. Yeah. And, and it only happened once or twice. We're only talking a few hours. Yeah. But it was the flag that, hey, this might start growing and become a bigger problem. Right. So, all right. So I took a few months, I decided, and I resigned from policing in 2013, moved the whole company here March 2014, late February, early March. Within a month and a half, we lost it all. No. The crash, all of a sudden all the oil and gas money that we're like, oh yeah, like $1 million a year to use this platform, not a problem, we'll get that in. All of a sudden, we're laying 20,000 people off. We can't do this right now. We can't do this right now. And I get it. You know what? I wouldn't want to be taking $1 million from someone knowing I'm going to be walking down the mall and 5 of those families aren't eating because, well, I got my $1 million now. Right? Yeah. So I was like, okay. And at that time, the investor couldn't, put more money into because we didn't know how long was this going to last, and we can't just fund it. And our burn rate was almost 70 grand a month at that time. 24-hour, staff on. Right. You can't launch a safety emergency application that everyone's using 24 hours a day, and then we're only open 8 to 5 for service requests, right? So burn rate was high. It just didn't make sense. I think we built something awesome that people loved, but we're just too early. And we made, I made so many mistakes along the way. It was my first time as CEO. I was like, Ryan, I run Regina Websites. We do, websites and apps and, whatever you need, a quote, we get done. Now it's like I'm CEO of the company. I'm like managing all these people. I'm doing the product management, and it's like, wow, there is a lot. And then investor money's involved, and like you got to answer for every penny of every. Everyone says you got to answer for every dollar. I'm like, if you're not answering for the quarters and the dimes that are happening as well, like you got to answer for what is happening with every penny. Yeah. And I look back on it now, 4 or 5 years later, I could have done such a better job. And you always can, hindsight's 20/20. Yeah, it was the same in policing, right? You make a decision in like that fraction of a second, and for the next 6 months, they decide how you should have reacted in that fraction of a second. Right. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but I had a fraction of a second. So, it was the same thing in business. It was like you react, you do things, and you go with it. But yeah, you just react and you do it, and if it doesn't work out, you figure it out and why. Right.
Iterate. And...
Yeah, and keep going. And I've really figured out a lot. I've now got another app that we've created with my development team that we're calling Safety App right now. Yeah. Name could still be in the works, or but it all has about the reason I'm calling it Safety. Yeah. My goal is when you buy a brand new iPhone or a phone that has Android on it, and you load it up and it's got the calculator, the calendar, the this, the that. Safety. That app is already there, and that will be based on our tech. Nice. That's my goal. So that's why safety is right in my head.
Well, and it's simple, and it's clear, and it's concise.
Yep.
There's not much else you need.
No. And the word safety in a lot of cultures and languages can be translated easy. If somebody doesn't fully understand English and sees the word safety, it's in so many types of things that sometimes it's one of those words that can just be right there for people. So
yeah, cool. So tell me what this app would do.
This app is, the goal of this app is one app on everybody's phone that vetted true organizations that have a reason to send out a safety-related message, whether it has to do life, property, weather, whatever, can send a geo-targeted message to a certain radius, and it'll arrive on people's phones.
Gotcha.
There's a... Sorry?
Well, I was going to say, so like they just did something like that in Alberta where they sent a text message. They did that test, right? Like emergency broadcast system.
The emergency broadcast system. So where I find weaknesses in that is people are getting those things and they're ringing a lot right now. So now they're becoming just noise. You know, it's like when Facebook launched and you got Facebook notifications, like, oh, cool, somebody did something. You looked at it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, there's 42 of them. I'll look at them later.
Right.
With this emergency broadcast system, it sets everyone's phone off, whether you're on mute or anything, and you look at it, and as soon as you glance at it and like you swipe it away, it's gone. You don't have a way back to it. There's no way to message anything. It's a one-way communication, which works in a lot of scenarios, but it's gone. You know, maybe it was an Amber Alert for looking at looking for a certain license plate. Well, you swipe away that emergency broadcast, gone. You know, and there is another app here in Alberta. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it has to do with safety alerts, and they can send out messages on that. If you have that app, then you'll get it and you'll be able to refer to it. So that's good. But once again, it's just for Alberta.
Right.
So if I'm from BC and I come visit Alberta, if I don't download the Alberta emergency app, then I don't get those. And my idea of the safety app is once that app is on your phone, anywhere you go in the world, any organization that wants to send out an alert will get it to whoever's in that, whether they're a resident, a tourist, whatever, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
And you can subscribe. So if I go to Bali for 2 months again, I can still stay subscribed to alerts within like a 2-kilometer radius of my home. So if the police send out a message that's, you know, not going to set off a siren because it's not an emergency, but maybe in the last 2 nights there's been 42 garage break-ins.
Right.
So I just want to say, hey, there's been 42 garage break-ins. Keep your garage locked. That, you know, we're looking for this suspect vehicle, you know, any description. So even though I'm in Bali, I can get that alert because it's not ringing a siren. It's just, you know, an informational alert. Yeah. And I can call my house sitter and say, like, hey, is my garage hit? Like, it's not sitting there for 2 months. Somebody just wondering why the door's open or maybe my car is missing or who knows, right?
Yeah.
They can check on things and, like, so it just really ties together. And one of the reasons, I jump back to SHIELD. Yeah. One of the two scenarios happened that sat us down at a table saying there's got to be a better way. There's an elderly lady that went missing from a care home. She had dementia. She was in Northwest Regina. Yeah. She wandered around the city for a little while. Well, she was reported as missing. Yeah. Officers, we were looking. It was New Year's Eve. We were looking for her. We had 2 officers assigned at all times. New Year's Eve, busy night for a small city with, you know, a typically understaffed police force there. Yeah. And, you know, 2 officers hunting for her all the time. Couldn't find her. She was found, you know, a few days later. Unfortunately, she'd passed away frozen in a ditch. Yeah. Subsequent investigation showed she'd got on a bus, she'd wandered around a mall. People had seen her, they just didn't know she was missing. And you can post this on Facebook, you can post this on Twitter. But if you're not looking now, it's lost in the noise. Right. You know, people share things, and a lot of times those shares anymore, it's like, well, there's a girl missing, there's a guy, whatever it is. Yeah. Well, is that today? Was it 6 years ago? Who reshared? Like, so people don't put the effort into really looking. Right. Where when the SHIELD alert went off, you know, like this was something that is real time. It's affecting somebody's life or property, you know, and you should look at this alert. Just take 5 seconds, look at it, and hit one of 3 buttons. Call 911 because it's an emergency and you see this person. Yeah. Call Crime Stoppers. We linked it to them because sometimes it's, you know, people don't want their names, and I'm all for that. Crime Stoppers is a great organization and program. Or just the regular button for calling police. Right. And, you know, we could have sent that type of alert out. Somebody could have opened their blinds and, oh, there she is walking by, hit a button. And, you know, we've got tech tied into it now, you know, 5 years later, that, you know, just hit a button if you think you see this person. And now we'll have heat maps like, oh, there's 46 hits here. And you're always going to have your jokers that are like, I'm just going to hit the button, see if the cops drive by. Yeah. You know, wasting time. But those will be sporadic. But you'll have that heat map that says, I have a lot of people hitting this button here right now. Wow. So it could have changed the outcome of that situation. Wow. And then the other situation was 3 7-Elevens were robbed. At the last one, the clerk at that store was stabbed pretty critically. Oh, boy. Same suspect description of the truck, red truck, white topper. First 7-Eleven gets hit, We know that. Officers surround that area looking for this vehicle. Oh, now on the east end of Regina, another 7-Eleven gets hit. Okay, we're spreading out. Well, now there's no lone worker alert system or anything like that. It'd be great if the police had a way to just, hey, type in a message, that goes out just to lone workers that are working in those convenience stores. Says, red truck, white topper, keep your doors locked. Few convenience stores hit. If you see this vehicle, call us in. And that third person that, should have just given up the money and just stood back, let it happen, and, go out, put up a fight, got stabbed, survived. But that situation might not have happened if there'd been a quick alert type system out there. And a lot of people are creating things like this, but they're all very location specific. Right. City of Calgary, great application that they have. If they need to send out alert, it's great. Yeah. But when Stampede happens and you have 100,000 tourists in town, they're not downloading the City of Calgary app in case there's a safety alert, right? So one app, everyone in the world can access it for sending out messages, and and we vet those organizations to make sure that it's a valid message from there, and I can just go to everyone. So I'm just rambling around. This is my passion, tech and safety, security, police, all this type of stuff. Everything.
Well, I just love the idea that I could be overseas, like I was in Manila, for example, and if something's happening, like there was a big terrorist attack there not long ago, that I would get an alert because I'm geolocated in that area, and I will know where not to be.
Yeah.
Right. So knowing that would be helpful. I've got kids, in Victoria and in the Philippines, and to know that they had that as well would give me peace of mind. So
that brings up two very good points for me with that remote. So when I was in Tunisia, before I went to Tunisia, it was an area that the government of Canada was saying, hey, this is very risky. We're we will evacuate if you need. Of course, I got to pay the bill, but it wasn't like a do not travel. Right. And there was a bus bombing while I was there. And within probably, I think a few minutes, I already had an SMS text message from the government of Canada, consulate, because I'd registered as someone during those dates saying there's been a bombing in this area, stay where you are right now for more information. Great that I got. I was like, this is cool. Yeah. Good job, Canada. Problem was, I was 500 kilometers away from where that bus bombing was. Oh. Great. Thanks for letting me know. I do not need to shelter in my beautiful resort on this island 500 kilometers away from where this bus just blew up. Yeah. So, if they could have geo-targeted that to only people in that specific area, right. There's just more accuracy. And the other thing that was great, I lost, what were the 2 points? Victoria. Before we shut down, we were talking to some of the I can never pronounce this word, oceanography, the people that deal with... Yes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. All right, just edit that in over my voice. Yeah, perfect. All right. So we were talking to them, and they, it's amazing the tech that's out buried in the oceans that detects seismic activity. So before an earthquake happens along the coast, a lot of scientists know 5-10 seconds before the ground's going to shake that the ground's going to shake. Oh, wow. And at what level it might do. Now they're estimations, but there's something. Right. If we could tie that into the safety app, that as soon as it hits a certain level, it instantly sends out a targeted message that just says, possible earthquake coming that could be this level, stop what you're doing. Right. If someone's working on an open gas line, if someone's about a train or a subway is going to cross something, if it could just be something that's 5-10 seconds alert that could cause someone to lock something down or put the brakes on, just wait 10 seconds and be like, oh, it didn't happen. Yeah, false alerts are a thing. You don't want that to happen.
Or tsunamis.
But, it could save lives. Seconds can be the difference. So we can tie into systems like that. It'd be fantastic.
How, so this is a bit of a non sequitur, but how do you see augmented reality, maybe integrating with this tool?
Oh, that's a good question. Augmented reality could be, I haven't had this question, so I'm thinking on the fly here. Yeah, but I'm thinking if I think that I've found a piece of property the police have notified people are looking for, or a stolen car that they're like, we need to find this car or something like that. If I see that car sitting there and and within the app, augmented reality is there, and I can hold up the app and it's showing me a picture of the type of car that they're supposed to be looking for, and I can be like, oh, that's clearly not a match, or oh yeah, look at this, it matches, and I can hit a button that takes a picture, sends it to the stolen auto unit, and they're like, this is what I see. They can be like, yeah, that's the exact car, and come on that. So augmented reality could help with that. I haven't really thought it a lot of the way through, so I'm sure there's a lot of other uses for it.
It just popped into my head that there seems to be like some, because the technology that we have in our pockets is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, you know, the fact that you're building this app and it's global is super cool. And then if we can, you know, add some of the other technology that we have to, you know, augment or enhance your app, I think that'd be amazing. Mm-hmm. Super exciting.
Absolutely.
We're living in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
That's right.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like we are, like the future, and it's something all my clients that we try and do apps for. It's always like we have to do so much future forward thinking.
Yeah,
that's one of my keys with them. You know, everyone's like, I want this app, I want it to do this, and like let's just build it. I'm like, wait, what about this? We just want to build it for this right now.
Yeah,
like you got to do your future forward thinking, or we could build you something. And in a year, it's a toss-out because you didn't tell us about these 14 other things you want to do. Right. And now you're on the door saying, I want to add this, add that. Well, we can add that. Right. You know, a lot of things we can add. But, you know, it's like, yeah, if we do as much future-forward thinking as possible, we can make your software last in like the typical 3 to 5 year life cycle that most software will last.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, and it's great that you answered that. So how long does it last? 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, if you have proper maintenance and everything, there's not a huge, like if Apple and Google change some sort of tech, well, of course, that all goes out, you know, and you never know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's 3 to 5 years. You keep it maintained and updated. Yeah. At 3 years, you got to start thinking about, you know, hey, by 5 years, you know, the programming language that's built in now, there'll be better options, there'll be more efficiency and this and that. What do you really need it to keep doing? If you don't want it to run for 10 years, it might still stay there and run, but it's not going to be as efficient. You start knocking on the door saying, I want to add this. It's going to be like, nope, we got to redo the whole thing if you want to add one thing now, because it's all legacy software.
Yeah, interesting. Huh. All right, I'm going to flip the script.
All right.
Are you a movie fan?
Love movies.
You do?
Yes.
Cool. So what is sort of your top movie of all time right now?
Days of Thunder.
Really?
Yes. I have been a Days of Thunder fan since I was a kid. I loved NASCAR racing growing up. Yeah. I know it's mostly just left turns. Yeah. But
Tom Cruise, right?
Tom Cruise, Nicole. Yeah. I was in love with Nicole Kidman as a kid. She was tall, redhead, beautiful. Yeah. When I was a kid, I had a $5 a week allowance. Yeah. And I'm assuming some people that are listening to this podcast right now know what a VHS tape is. Some, probably not all. Yeah, not they all. Can Google it. Yeah. But I would I'd do my vacuuming, do my dusting. Yeah. Friday after school, I'd get my allowance. I'd run down to the corner store and rent the one copy of Days of Thunder. And I did that week after. I probably saw that movie 100 times over 2-3 years. I'd just rent it, and on a Saturday, Sunday, while I was doing whatever, I'd be laying in the basement, and I'd play Days of Thunder 2-3 times. Wow. It was just, I loved the speed. And one of the key scenes, although, like, you know, anything with Nicole Kidman was fantastic. She, like I said, once again, she's a beautiful woman. There was a key scene between Tom Cruise and I'm horrible with like people's names and movies and stuff. But when he wanted to drive NASCAR, he was driving another type of car. He came and did a test, you know, near the start of the movie. Yeah. And the guy that was in charge of like the team basically said, no, I'm not going to let you drive for me, anything. And Tom went up to him and, or Cole Trickle is his name in the movie. Cole goes up to him and just said, you know, I'm not going to make a fool of you. Like it was just that moment in the movie that it was like, hey, you know what? You want to do something. You want to drive this NASCAR. Yeah. Just like me, I want to build this app. I want to build this company. I want to do it. Somebody tells you, no, I'm not going to let you do it. It was that moment of just like being open and vulnerable and saying like, I'm not going to make a fool of you. Like that just, for some reason, that just tied into me and I've remembered that forever. And it's like, I've had people tell me no, and I've done that. I'm like, you know, these are the reasons why it's going to work out. And I'm not going to make a fool of you. It's going to work out. Yeah. And no, it hasn't worked out all the time, of course. But I've always been as authentic as possible and done the best I can for anybody we work with.
That's awesome. That is so cool that such a pivotal piece of storytelling sticks with you for that length of time. Yeah. That's pretty wild. Man, Days of Thunder. God, I haven't thought about that movie for a long time.
Yeah. One of my favorites. If I still see it on, I will record it and watch it. I know, you know, all the scenes in it, but I love it.
Man, I wonder if it's on Netflix. Maybe I'll treat myself this weekend.
I don't think so.
Or I'll buy it on iTunes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Ah, that's wicked. Are you a gamer at all?
A little bit. I was years ago. I played a few online games and stuff, and then I got so busy with life and golf and business and policing. I didn't get in. Didn't stay into gaming.
Yeah. Okay.
Now gaming has changed to such an intense. Yeah. It was about a year and a half ago. We were going through Penticton and then Summerland, or Summerland, then Penticton, to visit an uncle of mine, and like my uncle's in his 70s. And he's got this computer set up with like a 40-inch screen, joysticks, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Like, because like he can barely work his phone when he's talking to us.
Right.
And now I see this like amazing setup. He's like, "Oh, I play Elite Dangerous." I'm like, "Whoa, what's that?" And he shows me like you fly the spaceship, and it's all from this company I believe in Europe. I could have some of this wrong, but the company in Europe built it, and it's all like true solar systems. But the solar systems keep growing, and it's an online. Like, there's a community. Like you can be the guy that's gonna like haul the stolen goods and hopefully not get caught to the guy that's driving the spaceship that's the cop for the space or whatever, right? And you do your own exploration. It was just cool. So I'm like, I'm gonna get this. So I went out, I bought an Xbox. I bought everything I needed, and except like the handheld joysticks and stuff. I'm like, I can use the controller, it'll be fine. I can't get out of demo mode.
Oh, really?
Like, or not like training mode.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, here's how you fly. I'm like, okay, I'm flying. I'm like going into hyperdrive to get from one planet to another. No problem. Now it's like dock in the spaceport. Well, I can't land this thing. It's like actual flying.
Oh my God.
And I keep crashing and crashing finally. But now I've got an Oculus Rift now.
Right.
And a couple of the Oculus Go's.
Yeah.
And you can get Elite Dangerous for VR. I'm like, well, I will be better at it now that it's virtual reality, not me trying to like fly a spaceship with two thumbs on a controller.
Yeah.
It's still not helping. It's not.
Oh man.
So, but I play around a couple hours a week or something, and but other than that, it's just as soon as I get downtime, I love going to movies. Just saw the new Ant-Man last week.
Oh, how was it?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Yeah, and I was like, excuse me.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was good. It was fantastic. One of the things I love about going to movies is popcorn and Coke.
Right.
And like when Uber Eats came out with like, we'll deliver popcorn and Coke to your house now.
What?
I don't have to. Oh yeah, that just came out. I think 2-3 weeks ago.
What is this magic land we're living in?
I know. Now it's like, I just wish you could like double order on an Uber Eats so you can be like, hey, stop and get my popcorn, but on the way, stop at McDonald's and get my Big Mac.
Right.
Then drop it all up. No, it's got to be 2 different Uber drivers. So, and I feel bad because it's like, well, you're busy, you're doing all these other things, and then you're sitting there and 3 Uber drivers pull up at the same time because I'm eating A&W or somebody else is eating Burger King, and like whatever. But yeah, it'd be nice to tie that all together.
There you go. There's another app idea.
Yeah. Right. Get on that Uber.
Yeah, come on, Uber. Uber Eats. Yeah, I've never used Uber Eats. My son, my eldest son, when he was here, that's his thing. Because in Manila, I forget what it's called. It's like Panda something. So they've got like these little people on mopeds that deliver all your food. Yeah. And I think they have Uber Eats there too, or Lyft Eats or something like that.
So I know I've used Panda. I was in Kuala Lumpur for a while. Used Panda there. And then when I was on Bali, they had one called Gojek.
Oh, okay.
And they picked up they'd even pick up you. Like the guy would pull up on a scooter with an extra helmet and he'd drive you. So it was like the Uber of. Because Uber was just, you couldn't get into certain areas near the airport yet and this and that. But yeah, the Gojek guys were just awesome. Like little green helmet. You knew who they were, where they were, and deliver the food. I even had a Gojek guy that came and picked up my passport and took it in for getting my extension and delivering it back. And
holy moly.
Oh yeah. I had a lot of trust in that. But I was like, you know what? All these other people, like I was, the girl that arranged our villa, Sarah, she runs a company in Bali called HSH, Home Sweet Home. Yeah. And it's like Airbnb for Bali. All the homes, there's thousands and thousands of homestays around there that they don't speak English. They're not online or anything. So you her and some of the girls that like from Germany and she's halfway between Hong Kong and Bali, or half time between Hong Kong and Bali. But she's from Germany. Yeah. She set up like a team of girls that they all got their scooters. They drove around the whole island, went to a few other islands. And yeah, it's hshstay.com or something like that.
Yeah, I'll check it out and put the link in the description.
Awesome. Yeah. If you're ever thinking of going to Bali, you just check that that out. Be great rates.
It's on my list.
Yeah, it's perfect. You fill in, oh yeah, this was the perfect place. And it's not an instant booking, you know, because it's like they have to manually, okay, you know, Ryan wants to book this place. Yeah. So they call the person, they speak the language there. And yeah, we can book from this date to this date. Okay, done. And then confirm it with you. Because, you know, some of those smaller homestays, it's like, oh, they're online, but then you call, oh no, we're not going to be there this month or whatever. Right. But yeah, so they've done all the vetting of all these places, and there's thousands listed there. And I'm like, you know, she came from Germany, loved being there, saw a problem. Like all these homestays just aren't getting business because me as a traveler, I don't know about it till I'm there.
Right.
And typically people are already booking on hotels or Expedia or whatever before they get there.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, here's another option. So she built a whole business around it. It's fantastic.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
All right, that is wicked. I will check that out because that's totally on my list.
Awesome.
Of places to go stay at. Man.
Yeah.
So Uber Eats, hey? Jeez.
Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes. I think if I pull up my phone, I got 3 or 4 other ones here.
Those are great. I really like Skip the Dishes. That's the only one I've ever used. But I do realize that they don't use do all the restaurants.
Yeah, and that's DoorDash is another one.
Right.
I love like the Cajun chicken meal at Earl's.
Yeah.
DoorDash covers Earl's.
Oh.
You know, Skip the Dishes and Uber Eats didn't.
Oh, they now do because I got the ribs from Earl's.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So there's the odd restaurant you're like, oh, I want something from here, and I'm too lazy to go get it. Yeah. It's like, all right.
Nikos Pizza, man.
Oh, Nikos Pizza.
Nikos Pizza.
I haven't had that. I'm an Inglewood pizza guy.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay.
Love it, but Nikos right here in Beltline.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the best pie in Calgary.
All right.
Nikos,
I'll have to try that.
Right here first.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that's rad, man.
Sorry, man.
No, all good. So, let's sort of tie this all together in a nice big bow. So, I mean, you're a rebel at heart. You've created this amazing life for yourself where you can travel the world. You've got a team that's scattered across the world. You build really cool stuff for cool people. You love your movies. You like your popcorn and Coke delivered to your house.
Yeah.
What are, there's people out there that are either in the throes or the struggles of the entrepreneurial journey, or they're thinking about diving in. What's maybe a piece of advice that you would give people? Your Days of Thunder advice was amazing. Is there more? Is there more?
Oh, I want to say, and I know this is probably trademarked, just do it.
I think some little shoe companies got that.
Some Nike or Adidas or So, just get out there. Just do it. Stop thinking about it. Do it. Get an MVP launch. Just write down what you want to do. So many people sit there, have an idea. I get emails all the time. I want to build an app that does this, this, and this. Yeah. What's it going to cost? Well, you give me 3 lines and we need 25 pages of technical documentation and feature requirements to really tell you. But from that, I think it's going to be, and then they're like, oh no, I thought it was like a $3,000 website, not a $40,000 app. I can't do that.
Right.
Well, you might be able to do it for $3,000.
Sure.
You never know. I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to do something, just start doing it. If you ever hit a roadblock, just figure out how to get past it. It might take a week. It might take a month. It might take a year. Maybe it's not the right time. But you will get past it, or you'll find someone that can help you get past it. Right. If you don't just hold it tight to you. We have a platform called AMP. It's an app management platform.
Okay.
And we built it. It's basically like drag and drop for Wix for websites. Yeah. We have an app management platform. So, we can charge you a setup fee, or I can let people in to just be like, drag and drop and here's a few templates, build your own app. Okay. It's going to be very basic. Yeah. But, when people say, I want an app that can help manage an event, or I'm a speaker and I want to list a few things and allow people to book or something like that. Right. I want a custom app. Okay, that's $25,000 or $45,000 or $100,000, depending on what they're all wanting.
Right.
And if I only had $5,000, well, you know what? You can use this template. You can drag your picture in. You can put some content. It's a start.
Yeah.
And then you're paying us like $100 a month just to keep it live in the iOS and Android stores. Yeah. So we have that type of SaaS platform for people to help. Build your own app. So we'll build the fancy cut. We've done projects anywhere from 20, 30 grand to, million plus that are 4 or 5 year long projects.
Yeah.
So we have a solution for everything in between. If you don't have the proper amount of money to build a fully custom app, then we've got AMP.
And you can rapid prototype your
absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's fun. Different options, different ideas. You build that. you get it out there. If people are using it, then you've also got that firepower now to be knocking on an angel investor's door saying, this is what I want to build. This is where I started. I got some skin in the game. I put some effort into it. Yeah. People are asking for all these things, and this is what our monetization strategy is. Now an angel investor might put in a little bit more than rather like, hey, here's my napkin that has my idea, and I want $400,000 to build this now. It happens. I got my investment from Shield from pretty much a conversation. Wow. But we had the right idea. We had the right people involved in it at the start, and it didn't work out as it is. But the new safety app, oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. And if it's not, it's another roadblock, and I'll figure out a way around it. And Safety App 2 will come out in 3 years from now. I don't know. I will never stop working on this.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it. Yeah.
That is cool. Well, on those enthusiastic notes, I'm going to wrap it up.
All right.
Man, thanks so much for joining me today.
No problem.
And
thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I had so much fun. And Days of Thunder, man. That's what I'm going to watch this weekend.
Absolutely. And if you can, I wanted to bring you some. I got to apologize. I wanted to bring you some beer. I was in Regina, and I was at a family wedding a couple weekends ago, and they had some beer at the wedding that was called Rebellion. And it said, be a rebel on the can. I'm like, I got to get some of this. I got to get some of this, take it to the Rebel at podcast interview. I forgot to pick some up before I left Regina. I'm like, I'll get it in Alberta. It's only distributed in Saskatchewan now. It's a craft brewery in Regina.
I wonder if I can order it in.
Might be able to order it in, or I know some people from Regina that might be able to. Yeah, so once I get that, I'm going to bring 4 cans and we'll sit down and but drink a beer that says Rebellion on it. I'm like, this would have been perfect for the podcast. Yeah. Oh, well, I couldn't do it.
That's all good, man. Yeah. I'll give them a shout out. We'll see if they'll send us some Rebel beers.
Absolutely. Yeah, they should talk to Graham at Toolshed about how to get your beer into Alberta. He does. It's amazing the work that guy does with craft breweries.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Man. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks again, man.
Thank you. I love being here.
Coming up next week, we're going to be talking about starting a record label, working with artists, performing, and so much more with Jason Crawford and Brian Moore from Infinite Elements. Check out next week's episode, Rebel, every Monday.